I'm checking in to see who's here with us. We're going to get started in just a couple minutes. Thanks for tuning in to Party Games. Look at my phone, make sure no one's texting me and there's having any issues. I'm going to text someone, make sure they can see me, and then we're going to get started. I don't know if the chat is working or not. So you may want a piece of paper and a pen to take a few notes and to make this a little bit more interactive, because it's going to be me training and talking, and I want to give you some, some substance to that. All right. Let me just see what's going on here. If there's some. Oh, I think this worked. I guess I had to do one thing. It says I'm presenting to everyone. Okay, hold on. All right, well, it says that we have 3 viewers, so I'm going to be really optimistic that this is working and jump into a few things that I want to cover tonight. So thank you, first of all, for watching this live or coming back and watching to this a little bit later in your day or even Tuesday or Wednesday. This is something that I really hope supports you in being back to school for Mary Kay, being back holding appointments, being back at your parties, and just getting a refresher. I know every time that I spend at a party watching someone else go through their presentation, I pick up something. And so I hope that you find something that supports you and that it empowers you and lifts your confidence so that when you have those parties, you are getting great results. And so I want to just put the word intention and goal behind what we're going to talk about tonight, because we have all sleepwalked our way through, maybe it's been a skincare class, maybe it's been going to a workout and feeling like you're crawling on the treadmill backwards. And I want to give you some intentions to enter your parties with. We're also going to do a little bit of recognition at the end, so hang out for the end because I want to shout out for some recognition for people, and then we'll be done. So what do I focus on when I go to hold a party? Well, I have some intentions and I have some goals. And the games I'm going to share with you, I think, work together to create both. So my intentions are, 1, that I'm fun and that all of the women who have taken time out of their schedules have fun. We have a very intense scheduled life, and to sit back and be pampered and to feel pretty and to laugh, I think those are just incredible gifts to give. So first of all, I want them to have fun. Secondly, I want them to look amazing. I want them to look better than when they walked in the door. I want them to feel like their time was well spent with me. So I want them to love the products. And the third is I want them to like me. I want them to feel a connection to me, to be excited about getting together with me again, and for letting me be their Mary Kay consultant and their makeup go-to person for as long as our relationship lasts. So those are what I really focus on. Have fun, look good, and make a connection with me. My goals are different. My goals are sell skincare. I want new skincare customers, people that use our product every single day, twice a day, to have amazing looking skin. I want to add new appointments to my date book. Every time you hold an appointment, you want to think replace plus 1, because half of the appointments that all of us book, me included, cancel or postpone. That means they're not going to hold on the original time and date. And so to be so excited about your business that if something cancels or postpones, you just go, good, I can clean some trays, is a great place to be. So replace and add 1. In the absence of that booking are new referrals, so that you have either the start of a guest list if you do get new appointments, or you have other people outside of those that attended or that booked that you can contact for new appointments. We talked a lot about that in the 1,000 Ways to Find Names last Wednesday. And then my third goal is to share with them some information about our company and about how I got started in Mary Kay, to help them connect with me and to help them know they're supporting a small business owner and a goal that I have. So I feel like that's really important, and it can all of those things can happen in a lot of different ways. But we're going to go back to fun, like you, look good, and I'm going to give you some games to work those things around. Now, I am going to pull out what this accordion, file folder was in my starter kit supplies, which you may be able to see behind me on my other desk. So within my supplies for my party, along with my foundations and my skincare and my catalogs, are the support materials for these games. So that's why I wanted you to have a pen and paper, or if you didn't catch that because I started before you got on, grab those things so you can jot down a couple notes. All of us organize and structure things differently. You may use a Google Calendar, you might use a Mary Kay date book, you might have other ways of creating lists to remind yourself. Because if you are implementing some of these things for the first time or enhancing areas that maybe you've had before, but maybe slipped away a little bit, didn't do it a couple times, didn't matter, suddenly didn't do it at all, wow, not as great of result. Because again, you want to book new appointments, sell skincare sets, get new referrals, and share the company information to find prospective new team members. Those are your goals out of a party with the intention of fun, like you look good. Okay, so let's talk about some of the things that you can create parties around. And I think that there are 5 areas that you can create some extra interaction and activity around. And I just want you to think about the last class you were a part of. Not a Mary Kay class, but like an educational workshop or class. How do things get anchored in? How do people best experience learning new information? It is through interaction. If I had my way, I would figure out how to record this and have a conversation with all of you. But we live many, many miles apart. I didn't have to wash my hair today, and it just doesn't happen that way. So you're going to have to take some notes along the way for this to anchor in, and I invite you to do a couple things. One is watch a party with someone in your area who you really feel is an expert. And second, consider joining us via Skype or Zoom at our Tuesday meetings in Eau Claire. And I have a way to do that so you can participate in perfecting your skills in these areas if you don't have a local meeting to attend. All right, so these are the 5 questions you want to ask yourself, and leave some space in between them so you can kind of fill in with what games I would suggest you could add into it. So the first question you want to ask yourself is, how will I introduce myself and Mary Kay to this party? How will I introduce myself and the Mary Kay Opportunity and Company to this party? That's question number 1. Question number 2 is, how will I ask for referrals? How will I ask the guests at this party to share the names and phone numbers of their friends and family? Number 3 is, how will I get new bookings? What will be my strategy to get new bookings? I'm gonna make myself one little note here, you guys, because I just thought of something. Okay. What will be my party specials? What will be my party specials? Whether you use a set sheet, the company sheet, but what kind of special will you offer around your party? And then the 5th question, which is a little bit of just a catch-all, is what areas of my business do I feel, or of my party presentation, do I feel like I need to improve on? And I'm just going to use a quick example. Maybe you've found that your parties take much longer than you want them to. You find yourself getting excited and talking a lot, or having people just kind of like herding cats, like you can't get them all moving in the same direction. And there's a game called the face race, which I'll tell you a little bit about, and that's something you could use. So, you know, one of the things that we have immediately at our fingertips after a party is that opportunity to self-reflect, ask, what could I have done differently, if anything? And maybe it's after 2 or 3 or 4 parties, if you see a pattern developing, and you have feedback to pivot, to make a few adjustments, and to get better results. The mother of all learning is repetition. It really is. So whether you're repeating the skills in front of live people, in front of your mirror, in front of, you know, recording yourself on your video of your computer, it is going to get better, get easier the more often you hold your parties and do your appointments. Okay, so let's go back to asking those questions about, how am I going to introduce myself to this group and to Mary Kay? You've heard it many times before. It's kind of gotten renamed just recently, and it has been called the I story, the letter I, like about me. And recently you've seen some, I think on Facebook, some Mary Kay posts about the why story. And this is so important because when your customers understand your purpose, where you were at when you started, what attracted you to Mary Kay, what's kept you excited about this business opportunity, you will find them connecting more deeply with you as a businesswoman and supporting that. If you never share anything about yourself or about your business, they may easily flit to another consultant because they think they don't matter to you. or join someone else's team because they don't think you have a goal that you would want someone on your team. So this is so important. And this doesn't have to be long. It is in an introduction as you ask the people at the party to introduce themselves. How do they know the hostess? You know, what's the most exciting thing happening in their world? They introduce themselves to you. So this is your chance to introduce yourself to them. So what do you want to share with them? Where you were at when you were introduced to Mary Kay. Maybe some things that excited you, some things that you were fearful of, and what's happened in the time between that. I also, and our national sales director started this, I add a few questions at the end and give them just a few little bit of a thought behind, plant those seeds of something that maybe this could be for them. So my iStory is super quick. It's just, I got to get myself in the moment, you guys, because, right, I'm not quite at a party looking at a group of people. But I start with being introduced to Mary Kay in 1997. And I worked with someone who came into my office one day and said, "What do you know about Mary Kay?" And honestly, all that came to mind was someone with blonde hair, something that had the aura of pink. And I had this thought that it was a job or an occupation that you did if you weren't able to secure another type of employment. I grew up on a dairy farm a little bit north of Eau Claire, Wisconsin, and I'm the oldest of 6 kids. My mom bought makeup from a lady who sold it in our home, and I felt like she must have been so bored because she came to our house in the midst of 6 kids, after dinner, getting ready for bed, all of this activity, and she could have been 20, she could have been 40. To me, she looked generations older than my 9-year-old brain was processing. I was really good at digging through my mom's cupboard and using all those little samples and goodies that she bought. But my initial thought about what Mary Kay was that I was not interested at all. My girlfriend was wearing makeup for the first time, probably that I had ever seen her. And I thought maybe she had a funeral or a job interview, but no, she'd had a Mary Kay appointment. And she was hosting a party 2 blocks from my house. And she reminded me about it every day. So there wasn't really that opportunity not to go, but I was really skeptical because I had this sort of stereotypical image of someone generations older with outdated makeup. And so I took my oldest daughter, who was just 5 at the time. You notice that pampering and children don't usually go in the same sentence. And I had 2 smaller children at home who I did not bring, but Hannah was my bailout plan. If I got anything that was too vibrant or I just didn't feel like I was having a good time or investing my time like I wanted to. Well, I had a great time at the party, laughed a ton. So I hope here today you guys laugh a lot in our time together just to relax and have a good time. At that party, my girlfriend leaned over and we didn't have a lot in common. She didn't have children. We didn't grow up in the same area, but we did live paycheck to paycheck. And we didn't enjoy it. We complained about it a lot. And she said she was going to start a business with Mary Kay. And I was like, really? Huh. And I don't know that I was the most supportive friend in that moment, but it caught my attention. Now, at the party, I left early and bought nothing. But in the next 2 weeks, we talked a little bit every day. And she's like, you should do Mary Kay too. And I'm like, oh, no. I don't want to sell anything. I had this like kind of icky after feeling of all the fundraisers I had done in middle school and high school. And she's like, oh no, you should sell Mary Kay. You just ask people what they want. If they want something great, if they don't, they don't. I was like, oh, I suppose it's not quite the same high pressure as selling magazines to, meet my quota for my basketball team. And I'd say, no, I'm super busy. I'm working, full-time, part-time, extra job, 3 kids, commuting. I just don't know if I have enough time. And, when it comes to time, it's a lot about priorities. And she said, do you want to keep doing that for the rest of your life? So she got me thinking, because at that point I did not. I was 25, exhausted, and I was not giving my best to the people that were most important to me. So I was really frustrated by that. And I couldn't see financially how it made sense for me to keep working for $20 after childcare and expenses every 2 weeks. So I started asking my friends and family what they thought. My sisters and my mom were not incredibly encouraging. They didn't see me wear a lot of makeup, and they knew how full my schedule already was. But it was almost that like, I'm going to prove you wrong. And if it hadn't been for my girlfriend saying, you're so pretty, people will buy makeup from you, I probably would have chickened out. but sometimes it's that one person who believes in us before we believe in ourselves. And so that's how I get started. And I decided to be all in right from the beginning, because if I'm going to do something and I think about it for a month, I'm going to do it. And I earned my first car 8 months after I started and built a team. At that time to 30 consultants, so I could debut as a sales director. Now we have over 140 consultants in our growing national area, and I'm really excited now that all of my children have gone to college and gotten married to be able to help mentor women to that position of sales director and help them become their very best. So just watch me to see if you could ever see yourself doing what I do. At the end, if you want more information, great. And if you don't, I need customers too. So thanks for letting me introduce myself to you. So that was my why story. And you guys, it's a little bit different every time because of the audience, but it's so, so important. It's so important because they're going to remember those details more than anything else. Okay, so that's introducing myself. Other things that I have at my fingertips in my text messaging saved are the links for all of the videos that I use for team building. So the video that I recorded, Leah Lachlan, Amy Kemp, I have them at my fingertips, so as I'm interacting with someone in that individual close and they're interested in more information, boom, I can send it to them immediately. Along with usually a picture of what comes in the starter kit, or in the month of September, it would also be the special that's going on with the Microderm Plus set that they get with the starter kit. So how are you going to introduce yourself to people? I don't have enough time to go through every single way. So I'm going to refer you to the Madsen app and the Madsen phone tree as other places you can go to learn about the Mrs. Cab game, the purse game. And so the purse game is just everyone bringing their purse out and you talk a little bit more about the company, each letter. So if someone, for example, the letter M, they look for something that starts with M. You can talk about the money you can make. You maybe give out tickets, or for every letter someone gets right, you give a little goodie. There's lots of games you can play around it. So it's not me going through absolutely every single way on this call or this Google Hangout, but planting the seed of how are you going to do this at your parties. Okay, so the second question is, how will I get referrals? How will I get referrals? And I feel like having a strong referral game will help you get bookings from your bookings, because this is the start of your guest list. So when people are like, I don't know anyone, and they put down, 15 names as referrals, you can just hold that up and say, really, how about these 15? As well as, closing her with, well, I can just take that and create your guest list from it, and you can go ahead and get your own party booked and be able to get some stuff for free. So a strong referral game is really important. And I feel like it's just about asking and about creating comfort around them doing it. When you can get one person on board, going through their phone, jotting down names and phone numbers, you'll likely get everyone to give you at least a couple names. So what are the ways that you can get new referrals? So one, I think, is to explain what you'll do with a referral. And I always just say, you know what, I hope you're having a great time today. One of the biggest compliments you can give me is to share a name or a phone number of someone that you know that is overworked, overtired, underpampered, and would love the gift of a Mary Kay makeover and facial right now. So who do you know that takes care of everyone else and forgets to take care of themselves? They're last on their list. Who do you know that might be getting married, recently graduating from college, or starting a new career, new to the area? I love to meet people who are new to the area because I feel like I can help connect them with other people that might be new relationships for them. So who do you know? So that is kind of the script, regardless of the game you use. So here's some ideas really quick from the inside of my file folder. So one, right here, back of the profile card. Back of the profile card. I like this when I don't really want to bring out more paper or there's not a lot of surface area to work on. And so there's 7 names lines in the back, and I just give a travel mascara if they fill out all 7. That's how simple that could be. Another option would be, this is my sheets for the Fabulous game. And this is a game that generates more leads than just the back of a profile card. You want to go into a little bit more detail on them choosing. It's kind of the desert island game, fabulous game rolled into one. You know, talking about what that glamour item that they would love if they filled this out could be at half price. So that's another opportunity if you're really, and this is, if you're someone that when you feel like, when you look at your contact list and it is skinny, or you feel like you're always going out to events or to, you know, bridal lists, or, you know, whatever might be in your area that you're investing money in, and you want to just really like get a lot of referrals quick, the fabulous game, desert island, and maybe you're going to give that glamour item for free if they fill this up with 20 new names and phone numbers. People have many, many, many more contacts than 20 in their phone, so they can definitely do that. And even saying, oh, you know, your cutest, most fun friends, getting them into the target market so that you're, you know, getting the best referrals out of the 20 that they're sharing. The other idea that you could do for referrals would be referral tic-tac-toe, which is a 3x3 grid. So it has 9 boxes on it, and they fill in the 9 boxes, and then when that person books, they get that gift. Now it's a little bit more tracking, a little bit more detail, so to decide if that's a good fit for you or not, but it does give them a really high incentive to give you names of people that are going to schedule appointments. So that's referral tic-tac-toe. How will you get referrals at your parties? It all takes a little bit of prep. If you're giving a gift away, if you're needing to bring sheets along, you want to have that tucked into your accordion organizer for your party. All right, number 3 is, how will I get new bookings? And I'm going to talk about a couple different strategies behind this, because I think there are 4 reasons primarily people book. Fun and girlfriend time, follow-up appointment to make sure their skincare is working great, free product, and help you with a goal. So you want to mesh all of those together. And this comes from our conversation last week, the 1,000 ways to find names. The most common answer that I saw when we were talking about those 4 was free product. How often at a party, though, does a customer sit there and think, what would I get for free if I booked? And have no idea. Because currently in our lookbook, there is no description of our hostess plan. Some other direct sales companies have that in their books, and so people can immediately go like, oh, if I booked, I would get this, this, and this. So it's up to us to share that. So I use a couple different strategies. Now, right now we have nail polish in our line, and if you feel like you forget to talk about a second appointment at any time, a party, anytime, you get chicken, you get tired, you just don't do it, and you can see it in your results, I would suggest wrapping up one of the current nail polishes, or if you have one colors left from previous seasons, and play past the polish. Usually at the very beginning at a party, if you put a really pretty little gift in the center of the table, they're going to ask you about it, and you're going to be in a position of having to tell them about the game. So past the polish simply is giving that nail polish to your hostess, and then every time you say, at your party, at your second appointment, at your follow-up facial, when we get back together, every time you mention a second opportunity for an appointment, the person that hears you say it first says, oh, I get the polish, pass the polish. And it goes around the table. Now, what will happen is someone's going to really want the polish, and if you don't say it often enough so that it's moving, they're going to call you out on it. So pass the polish is a game that can help you get in the habit of mentioning the next time you're going to see them 7 to 10 times, so that it just becomes an accepted part of the process. That's how you build the relationship. That's how the product works the best. And then they get all those other things: free product, support your goal, another look, all those things rolled into one. All right, so I use Deal or No Deal. And the reason I love Deal or No Deal is sometimes, and maybe you've had this happen too, I lose control at the end of a party. Either there's refreshments, or people like to go outside and have a treat, or they've got to leave, or they've got children, and you did not get the chance to individually close with each of them, or there's not a good place to do it. I did a party on Saturday. It was in a very cute little house. We were in kind of the living room, and there was no room in the kitchen at all. It was not an eating kitchen, so there was nowhere else to sit but where we were. And so having the opportunity to know prior to that individual close who's going to book, and having a chance to share your hostess credit is super important. So here's my deal or no deal cards. Here they are. Deal, no deal. Items on the back. Now I will tell you, any form of this will work. Handwritten on an index card. Put in an envelope that's tucked shut. It is not what it looks like, it's that you have it in place. So on the back, what I give as gifts are based on kind of what's not on my set sheet and what I feel like people love to get for free. So here's the list of the things that I give as the bonus for taking the card and getting the deal, which is the hostess credit. And I'll do it for you really quick. So they could get a free travel roll-up bag. That's the biggie. They could get a free glamour item of their choice. They could get a half price item of their choice, a free compact mini, a Skinvigorate brush for $30 off, a half price brush set, and there's a couple ones that repeat, probably because of the number of cards that I just made and laminated. If you want me to email you those labels, I certainly can, and you could use anything. You could use anything. If you have products that are from the At Play line, if you've got Santa Hands, those are both things that are going to be changing in the next couple product cycles. So you can offer those things, whatever you want, whatever you want. I've seen people do, you know, 2 items at 20% off, 1 item at 40% off, 3 items at 30% off. I've seen people do that and allow them to actually get them at the first appointment. So you can do it however you want. But basically what I do is I get to this point and it's just before, so they've done the whole party. So we've done skincare, we've done referrals, we've done glamour, and I'll say, I'm just gonna do one more quick game before we wrap up and I give you a chance to go shopping. How many of you are Kohl's Cash or Victoria's Secret or Express customers, you know, where you get those coupons that are like $10 off a bra, or you get $10 off a $50 purchase, and I'm looking for some nodding and some understanding of what I'm saying. And I'll say, you know what, I want to give you a chance to get a really, really good deal on some product from me. So I'm going to share with you what our party program is. And it is $40 off a $75 order, just for getting a couple girlfriends together who are new to me. We call it 75 for 35, but it's easier to imagine $40 off a $75 order. You also get a percentage of the class sales, 10, 15, or 20, depending on the number of bookings at your party. And then today, if you decide today that you want to get back together and we even just pencil in a time and date for that future appointment, you get the bonus item that's on the Deal or No Deal. Okay, so it's all kinds of fun stuff, a half price item, a full glamour item for free, a travel roll-up bag, and you get those bonuses at your party on top of the $40 off a $75 order and the 10, 15, or 20% of the class sales. So I'm just gonna go around real quick and I will, first of all, I'm not as cute as Howie, probably. I'm not exactly sure how that game works because I am not always watching TV, but I promise not to buzz you too hard and I will love you no matter what. But I would love to get back together with every single one of you and get you some free product. So here's the thing. I start with the person I think is having the most fun and is most likely to book. Go around. Now, everyone can book. If I get to the last person and no one has booked, I will be like, oh my gosh, you guys are breaking my heart. Jessie gets more in free product if somebody would book a party from hers. And I promise we have so many more fun things to play with. I would love to be able to get back together with you. So I work it a little bit harder, but I certainly do not go over that line of obnoxious and pushy. I just want to really let them know it's a great deal for them. So that's how I get my bookings. And when they say deal and they get a card, I know before they leave that I'm going to get a time and date on my calendar, even if, you know, I'm herding cats at the end and there's food and cocktails and trips to my car and all that stuff going on. So that's Deal or No Deal. All right, so other games that you can incorporate into your party. Now these, I was looking at the time, these apply if you have found that as you've done parties, first of all, you have not been able to get done in the amount of time you want to. You just feel like things go astray, you tell too many stories, or people start chatting, or you're looking for a way to streamline things. And this is called the face race. So it is putting the Miracle Set on their tray. You've matched up foundation before they've gotten to, you know, this point, and you go through all of the steps that they're going to do. So cleanser, day solution, moisturizer, primer, foundation. That's what I would do. And you set the timer and you give the person who finishes first a little goodie. And there are so many little goodies to choose from right now in the deluxe sampler portion. You could take one of the 6 lip glosses that come in that set and give it to the person who finishes first. You wouldn't even have to give them the whole set. So the face race is for those of you that feel like your parties don't really average 2 to 3 hours, that they're longer than that. The second game is called the wrist test. And this would be if you feel like you don't sell skincare and I would say you're looking to sell skincare, I would say about a third or more of the group. And there'll always be some that are coming for glamour or maybe already use skincare or need a second appointment to make that leap. But the wrist test is taking the Miracle Set, what's left in their tray. This is at the end of the skincare before glamour. And I always try to do it in a place that Satin Hands hasn't touched so that they get, you know, the most visible difference. They do cleanser, wipe it off with their washcloth. Even if their washcloth's a little nasty, doesn't matter, wipe it off. Day solution, moisturizer, dark foundation, darkest foundation you have. Put that on one wrist, the other wrist, just the foundation, and let them compare the two. That is the difference of just throwing foundation on or using a whole skincare system on your face. So if you feel like you're not selling skincare, that is going to be a process you can use. Now, again, try to pick a place there's no Satin Hands contact going on, because if they've done Satin Hands, it's not going to look quite as visibly different as if their hands have that, you know, non-buffed look to it. Okay, so those are a few other games. I would just mention, this was my note I made to myself earlier, that if you are not able to rattle off your hostess plan and own it and love it and be excited about it and, you know, feel like everybody there is getting an amazing deal, then you may need to change it. If you feel that way, and I do, because once a year in the month of my birthday, I host another direct sales party just to see what else is out there, and because it, you know, it works for me. Anyway, I know we give a great deal, especially on parties. Like a $200 party still gets a lot of hostess credit. In other company party plans, you're talking $500, $800, $1,000 party before you really, you know, start to see that magic happen. And I will always overgive because we have a reorder business and we have a relationship building business. So anything they start on, they're going to need more of down the road. Okay, so make sure your hostess plan is exciting. Okay, your last question is, what will be my specials at my party? What will be my specials? And I love to give my customers a little bit of a special because I love it personally as a shopper. I love a deal. You know, it's the I saved X amount of dollars versus how much I spent psychology. And there is some strategy behind pricing things in like groupings, like 1, 2, or 3 different options, and having them be like 99s, 49s, that type of thing, because it just works for the psychology of purchasing. I also was formerly a department store brand user, and I would wait till gift with purchase happened and go to the stores on either side of town to get both deals, to get the deal twice. Even if it was things I didn't really love or care about, it justified the expenditure in my mind. So I love giving my customers a deal. It's not a huge deal. It's not a discount beyond a profitable amount. And I know what I'm doing before I get to the party. So this would be my set sheet. It works for me. There's probably 2 strategies behind set sheets. Well, I should say 3. There's the one that came in, I have it out here. Oh, here it is. Came in your beauty book. The one that came with that and in your starter kit. That's one. Just as a little side note, if you're not in love with this skincare class guide, and if some of you are like, where's the flip chart? I missed the flip chart. It was so great. You can print one off on InTouch. There's a skincare party guide. It's new, and it is going to kind of bridge the return of the flip chart in late 2017. So that's there for you if you wanted a flip chart and you just haven't had one at your fingertips. So you can use the set sheet that came as part of the starter kit from the company and work off of that. You can create, and there's some out there, you wouldn't really need to create them, but there are some that have 3 groupings. So queen, princess, court, whatever you want to call it. So probably something that's around 250, something that's around 200, and something that's maybe around 150 or 100. So it's got 3 different options. I have 14 sets on mine because I use it in all different types of situations. It's got all the different skincare sets. It's got my favorite supplements, and it's got glamour that would work from really basic dash out the door bronze goddess to advanced glamour. And now the lookbooks this time have changed a little bit. They've in previous quarters listed a gift with a $40 purchase. Now it just says a gift with purchase. So you can set it at what point you want. But I feel like, here's my strategy. If a hostess brings me 5 people, so there's 6 at a party, and I can offer a gift at $40 or more, 40 times 5 is $200. Now I feel like I'll always sell on average more than that per person, but it gives the hostess a little bit more excitement around her party sales because she wants to do a good job for you. And then the deluxe minis that we have available are awesome ways to introduce new products and to get new sales down the road. And I use the eye makeup remover, which is $2, and it is a great add-on. I don't think I've ever had anyone not get the full-size one. They just love to have the travel one plus the full-size one, so it doesn't take any sales away. So I offer a deluxe mini at a $40 order. I upgrade that to a full-size glamour item at $99 or more. At wait, let me just read because that's what I need to do at this moment. Oh, at $199, they can choose a satin hand set or a travel roll-up bag for free. And at $249, they can choose the satin hands or travel roll-up bag and a glamour item for free. So they can mix and match and combine things together because maybe they don't want exactly what's in my sets, but they can create that volume. And I do use the sets because the company offers some great discounts, like on the Miracle set, the repair set, things like that I want them to know about. So what are your party specials going to be? And when I get to the end of a party, here's the most important thing. It feels awkward sometimes, like how do I get to telling them how the product comes? Because they came to the party and they've gotten to this point and they're anticipating, getting a catalog, getting to know about your specials. And so I'll say, now I know at this point there are probably 3 questions like just burning a hole in your brain. Like you can hardly contain yourself. And I am going to answer them for you. So here's the scoop. I'm going to share with you my specials tonight and how the product comes. I think I also shared with you earlier, which I had, that the product's in my car. So you can get it right now. Now, disclaimer, if all of you order Emerald eyeshadow, I probably don't have 6. So I have multiples of the most popular products, and anything I don't have on hand, I'm going to get it to you within the next 3 to 5 days. You're going to have it so fast, you're not even going to know you didn't have it. And how can you pay for it? I am a full service retailer. You can do cash or check, and you can do any type of MasterCard, Visa, Discover, or American Express. You can even use multiple forms of that. Totally up to you. So I'm going to go ahead and share with you how our product comes, and then we'll have a chance at the end to meet individually. You can have some refreshments. If you want to try any other samples or play with the things that are on the table, you can definitely do that. And then we'll get wrapped up for the evening. And then I'll go through the sets. And I feel like it's not even so important as that transition to it and then letting them know you're going to meet with them one-on-one. I let them write on my sheets because they can circle stuff and make lists. The beauty book has a complete list of all the products and prices in the back. And then I explain the lookbook as the back pages really being the best place to kind of flip through and look at, the products in list form, and the front half is kind of like a fashion magazine. Now, there'll be people who say that they don't hand out lookbooks at the end, but I personally always have. And I have them keep them if they're going to book a party, and if they're not, then I get them back. But there's some great looks and great things to check out in the catalog. I use the set sheet at the individual close. but for the most part, I give them all those, pieces of information so they know what they want to purchase and, and how things come. So those are those areas that you want to be prepped for in advance. And it may take, a couple days thinking about it. It might take going to a party, but I'm telling you, once you decide what you're going to do, I encourage you to stick with it. Give it, like 10 to 15 appointments to really get it locked in, to really get consistent, and give yourself some space around like, wow, I did an amazing job at asking for referrals, but I didn't ask for bookings. And know that you can go back after the fact and you can get better each time. I probably held 10,000 parties. Okay, maybe not that many, but I feel like sometimes that's how many I've held in the last 20 years. So I can do it really easily and without a lot of prep. It won't be that way until you get that experience. The mother of all learning is repetition. So find repetition. Okay, so I'm going to wrap up with this. Two things. One is, as you have parties in the coming weeks and months, I'm working with some new technology so that I can come alive to you at a party if I don't live close enough to be there, to introduce myself, share a vision for our national area, and share some information about our company and our unit with your customers that are there. So if that's something you're interested in, it's called Prize Patrol, and it would be a way for me to connect with your customers, help you build your team, and to grow our unit all at the same time. And as we get into the, yes, in Wisconsin, it's supposed to drop like 15 or 20 degrees tomorrow, but as we get into the cooler months where the weather can be, a little bit touchy in terms of travel, this is going to be a great option. So if that's something that you have coming up and you want to work with me on, I am here, because we are going to build this national area in this next, going forward, like we are getting this done. The second thing is I would invite you to take these different areas of your business and choose the one that you are most confident in right away. Like right away, you're like, ooh, I am good at this. And if you live local to the Eau Claire area and you attend our meeting, we're going to start a fall boot camp. We did this last fall, and I thought it was really, really successful and really helped just bring that skincare skill level up. And that is having each person over the course of the next probably about 6 to 7 weeks share a different part of their party, starting with the one they feel most confident with, and then over the next weeks taking their turn at doing their referral game, at doing their booking game, at doing how they share the company information and their why story, and putting that together. If you don't live local but you want to participate, I would say that this is probably going to happen around 6 o'clock on Tuesday, 6 to 6:30 as a kind of our training portion time. And you could jump in through Skype, through Google Hangout, depending on how many there are. Skype would obviously just be one, but we could do a Google Hangout and you guys could take turns presenting and also watch live what's happening. So we're going to really try to incorporate technology to an even higher level into our world so that you can have great training and confidence building. Those of you that are local and you've shared with me that you're coming, be prepared to go through your strongest one of these areas. And then we're going to sign up for the rest of the areas over the next few weeks. And you have to start somewhere. You have to start somewhere. You've all been out holding parties. You've held parties before. So it's going to be a really fun fall. Get back into shape for your skincare class. Okay, I'm just going to end with really quickly. We are doing so good on time. Recognition. And this is going to also become part of our weekly virtual events. I will let you know that, itchy nose. This week, the first edition of our completely revamped and remade over newsletter is coming your way based on July and August results. But these are just results from last week, and I want to give a shout out first of all to the consultants that sent me their weekly accomplishment sheets. I know last night InTouch was down for some maintenance, so maybe this is still happening for some of you. Definitely send them my way. That's how you get your retail punches. That's how you get recognized in the newsletter. But so far, just before I hopped on this Google Hangout, this is who turned in summary sheets for last week. Bridget Ellenbecker, Cami Lubinsky, Brooke Robinson, Michelle Stuffel, and Jenna Tomlinson. Thank you. Woohoo! I am appreciative. Whether you had your best week, a week you're like, up from here. I really appreciate that accountability. to Cami Lubinsky. She had a $300 retail week. Woohoo! And through other conversation, I know 2 new bookings from her activity last week. So I want to be able to recognize you. So share things in your accomplishment sheets and through other communications so that we can celebrate you. Tomorrow is Mary Kay's anniversary. If you listen to my Voxer message, you know that I suggested using the iCan app that was part of our event last week. I posted it on Voxer to upload a picture and use that to celebrate Mary Kay's anniversary on your Facebook page tomorrow. It is a fun, beautiful, conveys so much positivity about our business to your followers. And hey, 1963 to 2016, and continuing to grow, continuing to be strong and stable and better. And like, it just is, I'm just so thankful. I truly am, as I watch other business opportunities, both in direct sales and in other areas. I'm just so thankful for what our company gives us. So that would be a suggestion for tomorrow. I would love every person in our unit to just get that iCan profile picture up there. The second thing is the 15th. The 15th, it's a super important day. It's Star Consultant Day. And as I look back over the last few quarters, one thing I was really wanting to grow was that on target star area. The people that were within striking distance of star, who had ordered 2 or 3 or 4 orders in the quarter and had that repeated selling and ordering and selling and ordering. So if you have at least 400 wholesale ordered for this quarter, this has gotten really juicy in our unit, and it'll just be a few more weeks of $300 or more in sales, and we're going to be exploding with Star Consultants. So here you are. You had at least 400 wholesale in as of, a few minutes ago, an hour ago. Amy Rickel, Heidi Allen, Victoria Garcia, Jenna Tomlinson, Bridget Ellenbecker, Kaylee Lemmer, Melanie Chalkowski, Mary Reppy, Christina Yankee, Michelle Stuffel, Hannah Mower, Chelsea Ronsman, Lisa Cook, and at over 600 wholesale, Tanya Tomasevich, Heidi Fulmer, Cami Lubinsky, Brooke Robinson, and Mariah Ellenbecker. Congratulations. You'd be able to find your exact number on InTouch, and if you're excited about being a star, I can absolutely promise you I can show you, give suggestions, brainstorm with you how to close up that gap and finish the quarter as a Star Consultant on September 15th. If you're attending the fall retreat, there's a special Star Consultant luncheon that you'd be able to attend. And I think more than anything, if you looked at your store and you felt like it just needed some extra girth to really get in the field and sell a lot of product and not have to worry about deliveries and mailing things, becoming a star would be a great way to make that happen. You make the business decision that is absolutely best for you. Okay, so that wraps it up for tonight. On time. I appreciate you tuning in, and I'm really hoping and praying that this whole skincare party process worked, and that we are going to have a great, that I didn't just talk to myself for an hour, that we're going to have a great training tool that you can use going forward. So enjoy the video. Message me if you want to be part of our Google Hangout or Skype boot camp in the Eau Claire area. And for those of you that live local, it's time to get your workout clothes on and those running shoes, because we are going to race to skincare party perfection. Have a great night.